Everybody, welcome back to Trio Planet, the YouTube channel. We talk all things media. How is everybody doing? How is doing well? And today, guys, we're doing a review of Secret Invasion EP2. What was today's title?
Promises.
Promises. So if you're wondering why there's no reaction thing, it's because we were so very fucking stunned at another show that we didn't react to this one the way we were gonna. So instead, we'll be doing his very famous breakdown. This episode wasn't very action-packed. There was no action. There was a torture scene.
That was about as actiony as it got.
Yeah.
There's a couple
Obviously,
of...
I am joined by William, aka Astral.
Hello.
And yeah, not very action-packed. That was the only action we really saw was the torture scene, which was very...
And a couple of murders.
And a couple of killings and all this other stuff. But yeah, the ending was interesting. But yeah, Will do his famous breakdown of the episode. We'll be back to the usual reaction thing next week, but we were doing it this way this week. So, Will, take it away.
So, this episode, this week, they're treating us to a couple of flashbacks. We open 1995, during the time of Captain Marvel. We get to see basically a recap of how the Skrulls ended up on Earth, and how Talos and Fury became friends. Then we jump forward a few years to 1997, to a meeting of Skrulls with Fury and Talos, where we see a young Gravik, who is the main bad guy. He is the person that murdered Maria Hill last episode. We do get some confirmation in this episode. Maria Hill is officially very, very dead. Maybe she'll go to Tahiti, who knows. So the meeting happens, and Fury makes a promise that so long as the Skrulls are in a human form and are basically working for him as spies, he will work with Carol Danvers to find them a home. Obviously, we know that doesn't pan out because of the snap. Yeah, so we move forward to Moscow, present day. Just after the bombing, Fury is still over Maria Hill's corpse, and a man grabs him and throws him in the back of a van, and as they drive away, we get to see that the man is indeed Talos. Then we get the lovely AI-generated images. And then we're on a train, and the police are looking for Fury, because he's a suspect in the bombing. But Talos covers for him as a Russian woman. Being a shapeshifter helps, I guess. They have a conversation. Fury talks about his childhood, how him and his mother used to take the train from Alabama to wherever they were going. And they had to sit in the colour car, and how they used to make up games and, sneak food on. And then Fury starts playing a game with Talos called Tell Me Something I Don't Know, where he asks Talos to tell him something that he doesn't know about the invasion and destruction of Skrullos, which then leads to him asking Talos to tell him something that he doesn't know about the Skrulls on Earth. And Talos tells him that concurrently there are 1 million Skrulls hiding on Earth, and Fury loses his marbles a little bit. He asks Talos if he's lost his reptilian mind, and then basically kicks him out of the car. The train car, should I say. Then we go to, I believe it's the UK, and Maria Hill's body is being loaded onto a jet to be taken back to be buried, or to be taken to Tahiti. I'm not dropping it. Maria Hill's mum goes up to Fury and basically asks for the no bullshit story. Fury says that Hill died because someone was trying to hurt him. Mother doesn't like that, but then she says to Fury, make sure that whoever did this make sure that my Maria didn't die for nothing, and Fury's like, you have my word. Then we get some news broadcast. It is, I believe, the commander of NATO, the NATO Secretary General, a American Fox News anchor, and the mention of the Prime Minister of Britain. They're all basically talking about the terror attack in Moscow and what their plans of action are. We cut to Gaia and Gravix in a car ride. They're going to a meeting of the council, and when Gravix goes inside, we get to see that the Prime Minister of the UK, the anchor for the Fox News, the Secretary of NATO, they're all Skrulls. They're all in positions of power. They have a meeting. It gets a little bit heated. They're not a big fan of Gravix at first, but then the Prime Minister enacts her coup and basically promotes Gravix to General of Skrull forces. All but one of the Skrulls present submit. That one is allowed. The one that doesn't is allowed to leave without being harmed, and immediately calls Talos, and Talos convinces him to set up a meeting, saying that he wants to talk about his daughter. Then we go back to the compound, New Skrullus, and we see a device, a very interesting device being worked on by some doctors. We don't get to fully know what it does. However, it is pretty obvious that they're doing something with Skrull DNA, so probably Super Skrulls, which would be quite terrifying for Fury. Then we go to a Security Council meeting where a bunch of nations are interrogating the one, the only, the still dickheady Colonel James Rhodes. And Rhodey is dodging the question of was Nick Fury there. One of the countries keeps rolling their eyes at him. He's like, if they carry on, I'm going to carpet bomb their ass. After the meeting, he gets a phone call from Nick Fury, obviously. He basically confirms that Fury has seen everything. He's like, nice suit, is that Armani? He's like, oh, any of them give you any grief? He's like, yeah, this one. And he went, why don't you just carpet bomb? Basically feeding him his own words back to him. They set up a meeting. Fury gets a pat down. They sit down. They have a chat about how men like them don't get to be promoted because of who their dad knows. They had to get it through work and blood. Basically, the classic we came up from nothing sort of spiel. And then Rhodes does like a 750 on him. And he's like, by the way, you're fired. And Fury's not having that, so he breaks a guy's hand, unloads his gun, and then basically threatens Rhodes and then leaves. Then we go to the scene, the torture scene. The lady from episode 1, who I believe works for some intelligence agency. I don't know if it's MI5 or one of those ones.
It's MI6.
There we go. But she goes into the back and she takes over the interrogation. Everyone else leaves except her. She asks where the escape hatch is in case she needs to, dip, which eventually she does. And she uses some form of serum to make a Skrull's blood boil. And basically interrogates him that way. She finds out a bunch of information about safe houses and, again, the machine. Before Gravix and his goons arrive and start murdering everyone. She escapes through the hatch, and Gravix has the guy executed for lying about telling them anything. Not looking good for Gravix. And as we come to the close of this episode, we see a Skrull in a house cutting up some veg. As Nick Fury walks towards another house, he opens the door, he goes inside, and it turns out to be the same house because this is Nick Fury's wife. He's married to a Skrull. and they have a little bit of a reunion, and that's it. Roll credits.
Yep, that was an interesting episode.
It was an interesting ending.
And if you guys are wondering what a Super Scroll is, in the comics and even in some animation with the scrolls, Super Scrolls were mainly basically one of a scroll got the powers of each of the Fantastic Four members. You basically got all of the Fantastic Four characters' powers and became the Super Scroll. But in this, we don't know what powers that he will probably get.
And I am assuming that Gravix is going to end up becoming this the Super Scroll treatment.
Well, he wants to do it. He wants all scrolls to have it. So I think, yeah, he will possibly be the one to be like, I will be the test subject.
So, what do you think of the episode, Jordan?
I fairly enjoyed it. I think it was definitely somewhat interesting to see what the politics are like in the MCU at the moment, and obviously knowing now that a war could possibly be happening. You know, a war between America and Russia. Bit too real feeling in it.
It is a bit close to home.
Yeah, it's a bit close to home. It's very feeling. It feels too real. But scrolls are now infiltrated pretty much everything that there is. They have pretty much infiltrated everything and anything that they could of politicians and that. Obviously, Talos says that every fucking scroll that survived their war is on Earth. So,
except the ones that are in Emperor something.
Yeah,
Company.
which except those who were in this colony with this emperor. So I'm guessing this council that's on Earth are basically they basically listen to their emperor on that side, but looks like they're probably not now because he's took over. Overall I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was decent. But I feel like this show is definitely one spy drama, and it's cool to see that we now know uh, Fury's home life, and yeah, he doesn't go out wearing his ring. He doesn't do his job wearing his wedding ring, and it's interesting to know that he's married a Skrull. So I wonder how that comes into play later on with his decision making of why. What's his name? What's the villain's name?
Gravix.
Gravix hasn't. It make me understand that's why he didn't. Why he feels like Fury left them. Maybe he got married to a Skrull and stuff like that. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll do ratings at the end. Will, what did you think?
I think it was definitely a change of pace from last episode after the big boom. I'm still confused to all hell about who's a Skrull and who's not. I keep second guessing every character I see.
That's the thing with Secret Invasion, even in comics and that. You're supposed to question everything.
I liked. Well, it sounds bad to say I liked the torture scene.
It does sound
but I enjoyed the implications of it for the MCU because we haven't seen anything quite that dark in a long time. Overall, I think this episode was definitely weaker than the first one. It was a lot more exposition heavy. But it did do a very nice job of setting up the whole Fury is the most wanted man on Earth thing. And they did also mention their friends, who we're pretty sure are the Avengers.
Yeah, and they're not going to call them, so we kind of now know that there is definitely there is an Avengers team out there.
Some form of Avengers.
There
I'm
is some
assuming,
form.
depending on when this takes place timeline-wise, I'm assuming it's either going to be either just Captain America and Bucky, or it'll be Cap, Bucky, maybe Spider-Man. It's a bit up in the air as who's going to be in it. I'm going to assume that what it's going to be is it's going to be led by Sam Wilson, with Bucky as like his right-hand man. You'll have Spider-Man, Black Panther, Shuri, maybe Ironheart, maybe Moon Knight. To be fair, they might try and bring Moon Knight into the fold as this new Avengers team, but it is sort of a weird thing to imagine because there aren't that many heroes for them to choose from currently. They're sort of limited to like Spider-Man, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. There's some heavy hitters for sure, but it will depend on where they take the story of the MCU as a whole. Overall, I think this episode... I can't remember what I gave last week's episode. I'm going to give this episode a 6.
I'm going to give
the torture scene a 9, but I'm going to give the episode overall a 6.
I'm I think I'm going to agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of agree, but I'm going to give it a 1 up and give it about a 6.5 or something like that.
Always got a 1 up.
Just up it. Not that much, just a little.
Just a little tease. So, yeah.
Yeah, just a little teaser. Anything else?
No, I think we're still a bit stunned from the other show.
Yeah, I think we are. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hope you've been enjoying these reviews of any show that we really do. Podcast won't be back for a bit because Tyler is going on holiday to Turkey soon, so we didn't want to do the podcast for like so many weeks and then have to pause again. So podcast will be back at some point. Gives me time to sort out the other channel. Other than that, guys, we want to do other stuff on the channel. Me and Will probably do some more gaming.
Expect another Spider-Man 2 video before it releases.
Will, I've already doing one. If you want to join me.
Oh, there we go.
It's going up. We'll record it this week, and it's going up this week. It's going up the week this video goes up. So Will probably join me on that with some Spider-Man footage be in the background. So it'll just be us talking bullshit.
To be fair, expect some videos about Assassin's Creed Mirage,
Yeah.
Starfield.
Also expect some solo videos from Will, myself, and Tyler at some point. Because me and Will have been kind of doing a lot of joint videos and stuff like that, which is nice. But like now and again, we really want to do our own stuff as well. I want to continue react. I'm going to tell you guys on this channel first. No, I'll tell you guys here as well. I've come up with a new series that I'm doing on Slasher Media that I will be doing on here. I'm taking the Marvel concept of what if and doing my own thing on it. So on social media, I'll be doing what if horror. On here, I'll do what if Marvel in there, but my own thing, like basically coming up with my own what ifs, certain things. And if Will wants to join on that, he can.
I like the what if stuff. I like coming up with scenarios.
Yeah, so basically it'll be a what if style thing where I will edit images, we'll come up with a story of, we'll change one or multiple things within a universe and be like, what if this happened, what if that happened, and stuff like that. We won't be doing what ifs that we won't be doing what ifs that have already been done in the what if show and that. But yeah, that was the one on social media is gonna be great because it's what if horror and can't wait for that. But yeah, guys, hope everybody did enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go to the link down below to all our social medias. Follow us on our Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I have been one of your hosts, Slasher.
I've been your other host, Azteral.
And remember, there are scrolls everywhere.
Literally everywhere. Like there's
fucking everywhere.
So many of them.
So many.
We forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them. It's over, Anakin!